Hello again, everybody, and welcome to episode 3. We've made 3 of these things now, would you believe it, of Watch on Time podcast. Welcome to my mate Graham over there and me, Ian
Hello.
Grant. We're going to talk watches once again this week. It's been a couple of weeks since we talked before. We've decided this week that we might as well talk about the elephant in the room, the elephant in every watch aficionado's room, the crown, Rolex. But before we do that, how have you been doing this week, my friend? How's your couple of weeks been?
Oh, it's been very good. Well, as you can imagine, the same. They're so very, very busy all the time. The heat has just been, me being a professional Geordie, the heat has been absolutely murder for me.
Yes, melting.
Luckily, it's cooling down a bit now.
Yes, no, we equally here we've started cooling down. It's just been hot working in my office here these last few weeks. Equally, I've got a cool thing for later of something I've been doing that I'm going to call my cool thing. We'll still do a cool thing because I've got something
Cool.
I did yesterday. In fact, that was cool. I was cool and I'm proud of. So we're going to talk about that.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I've had a good week though. It's been work-wise and everything else. Been busy, and it's lovely now. I've got Monday night and I get to sit down and chat to you. So what could be better? So let's start with the watch. Let's start with watches. What are you wearing today, mate?
I am wearing my Tag Aqua Racer. Well, it's quite an unusual one, that it has a polar white dial. It took me a while to find it. I think it was only available in the Malaysian market. But just one day it turned up on the internet. I thought, I'll have that. And I bought it. And it is fantastic. It's got a great little movement in it. It's got a beautiful, just polar white dial with the orange second hand.
I do like that. That's a really good combo.
It's
Combo of colours.
It's handsome. That's all I can say.
Handsome, mate. Handsome. That's how you say it. It's handsome.
Handsome. That is handsome.
Essex boy, I can do it properly. It's handsome, mate. Handsome. From my original home down in Essex.
Well, I would probably say, well, it's right bunny, that, like. It's a right bunny piece. It's a Bobby Dazzler. That's a Bobby Dazzler.
It is. That's a lovely. I mean, people hate on Tag, but I kind of have this thing that I go and look at things like the Aqua Racer and I look at the Carreras and stuff, and I think, actually, they're nice. There is. It's like the same as Breitling had its shiny phase when everything was enormous and glinted. And I think Tag had that point where they did all of that. Some of their new stuff, those solar, the solar Aqua Racer with the blue hand, I keep wanting to get one of them. That's another one I keep looking at, keep thinking, I might have one of them. Haven't quite got to it yet.
It's like an aqua marine blue hand, isn't it?
Yes, that's the one. I keep going, I might have one of that. I haven't yet done that, and it's titanium case and all those other nice things. So it's sandblasted again. It's my thing. It's completely my thing. But so everything in tie is always good. Whether I will or not, who knows? But that's one of those ones. This week I'm wearing a cheapie. This is a Chinese bargain of the century.
I love it.
There's a wicked company in China called Forsythes. They've got a really weird name. They make fantastic homages of various watches. The usual Chinese thing. They paid no money for the designer. They just photocopied watches. What they do is a little bit different with the way they build these replicas. I've got 2 of their watches. I've got a PH4 and a PH6. This one I'm wearing today is PH6. So they've cloned the Peter Blake Seamaster, that classic one with the triangle in the seats, the one that you can't buy anymore. It's a second-hand market job only.
Yeah, beautiful.
And they built one with a black dial, one with a blue dial. What they do differently is all the indices are loom blocks. These, you're seeing it everywhere now. Everyone's Lumiere and all these people with loom blocks on their dials. And it glows like a torch in the dark. It's fantastic. I've already got a Peter Blake of my own, so I kind of thought, I'll get it on the bracelet because I don't have a bracelet from Peter Blake. And I said, if it fits, that would be really nice. And I get a free watch. That's the way I looked at it. So I ordered this in, and it arrived, and the bracelet fits my Omega beautifully. So that's perfect. I've got that sorted. And then this one it's just a nice knockabout watch, and I thought I'll stick it on the day to show you because it's got a decent high beat movement inside. It's got PT 5000. It was 180 quid, which is nothing really. And I've got the other one, which is kind of a Glasuta CQ kind of styly. So big Arabic numerals
yeah.
around the dial, vintage diver style, skin diver-esque type thing. And that one cost me 120 because I didn't get a bracelet with it. I just got it on a strap. And a fantastic value for money, really nice to wear. And if I smash the glass or I drop it or lose it or whatever, hey ho, it fits nicely into that category. So yeah,
I've got it
today on an FKM strap today, but
it is very, very nice. The YouTube video that you sent me of the guy talking about the loom, I thought he was going to wee his knickers. He was getting that excited.
Oh, he was. He really got excitable over the work. The loom on these things is top drawer. I've got two of them, and I bought them purely because the loom's fantastic.
Mm.
I might have just bought the bracelet, but I thought for that, you know what? I also decided because I've got a black dial one. I'll buy the white dial because you can't. There's only that the GMT that you and I were lusting after the other week is the only way you can get a white dial Peter Blake-esque type of. There was a GMT they made years ago, isn't there?
Yeah,
the Great White. It's the Great White.
The Great White. Yeah, and it doesn't have a helium valve on it.
No, that's quite nice because it doesn't have the helium valve.
Which I quite like. It cleans the look up.
Yeah.
I don't mind the helium valve. I quite like it. It's a little quirk.
No, I've never. This one's got one. I've never been bothered by it. It's fine. I've got one on my Peter Blake, and my Peter Blake's a quartz one, and even then, I think it's brilliant. I got a good deal on it. That might even be the watch I wear to the wedding next time I go. Because that sits nicely under a cuff and it's discreet.
Yeah, because they're very flat.
I do like it. The old school. That's one thing about the old school Seamasters to get vaguely into a tangent. They're much thinner. They're much nicer than the newer ones, which all seem to be about 14, 15 mil thick. Which I don't like a big watch. It doesn't have to be that high. It doesn't have to be 6 foot tall. And that seems to be a thing. But yeah, these are the Seamaster. Bargainers.
The latest Seamaster now, or the Seamasters all the way back to 95. It's always kind of. It's never appealed to me. I've tried them on. I don't mind the bracelet. I think it's quite nice. But I've never wanted to buy one because my brother's got one. 2 of my mates have got one. It's James Bond. I don't think I'm James Bond. So it's kind of. I don't. I don't know. It's kind of put me off it a little bit.
I don't know. That's one. This is the one with those one watches that have got that little bit of something that make me always kind of. I can have. There's another generation. I think it's 2 after this one. Plain blue dial, really good AR. That comes the next. Yeah. It's not the generation. It's a couple of generations later with one of the coaxial movements in. And I keep thinking, if I see one of them for the right price, I'll get one.
Is that with the aluminium bezel?
No, that one's just the first of the ceramics. That's the difference. It's the first of the ceramics.
Oh, yeah. But
it's not got the wave dial. It's different, and it's got super finish. It still looks lovely.
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't.
Because they've just gone back to the wavy dial, haven't they? With
yes, they have gone back to the wavy dial. I went in and looked at. I popped into the AD and had a look at one 6 months ago or so and I had a look. They got this one model I particularly liked, which was. It's again black. It's the usual colours with an orange second hand.
Yeah.
And you can buy it on a really nice orange rubber, much like what I'm wearing today. And it looks the D's B's. It really does. It's genuinely pucker thing, but I still can't drop $5,000 on it, which is the big problem. I can't get. And I'm going to forever say this. And today's what we're going to talk about is expensive watches. I'm still going to get that thing at the end of the day when I go, I could buy a car for that. And that is the point at which I get grumpy. But anyway, let's talk Rolex.
But you always say that. The amount of times you've said the phrase, "I could get a car for that." I wish I had £1 for every time I've heard you say that. I'd have at least £7.
You would at least. You would. I mean, that's my. I think that. But it's a conversation we both had. That idea that how much could you justify putting down on a watch? And I think your wisdom, I think, is absolutely spot on.
I've been down the expensive route.
Yeah, we talked about it last time, didn't we?
It didn't work for me.
No.
It didn't work for me. So.
No, I think I'm with you.
Let's get into today's subject.
Yeah, today's subject is that wonderful manufacturer of fine watches, Rolex, the crown, the crown jewels of watches, and everybody lusts after and everybody wants. And I don't think either of us are the biggest obsessive fans either. We've got opinion on it, so it's interesting for us to discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll start this off a little bit with, I was in town last Sunday. I was bored, and I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in. We've got now in York. There's a lovely mapping and web store which has got on one side Tudor, Bulgarian stuff, and on the other side we've got a Rolex boutique now. So I wandered in. A couple of times I've been in, it's always been full of people, but today it was quiet. So I went, oh, can I have one? And the only two watches really I'd consider plonking down my own hard-earned cash are the Explorer and the Explorer 2. Again, they fit the kind of thing that I like. I can't see the artificial scarcity thing, and then we'll get onto that with the Submariner and stuff. Those are the two watches I think actually I'd wear. So I wandered in, spoke to the guy, lovely lad came out, very helpful, offered me a drink, made me sit down, made me feel very welcome. I was in shorts and a t-shirt. You know, I had one of my Irises on. So again, I wasn't wearing anything that would make him think I was from Adam. Can I have a look at an Explorer? Of course you can, sir. Got me one out. We had a good. It is when you get it on wrist and you feel it. I mean, it was cheerfully the one they brought out seemed to be sized up perfectly for me. It couldn't have been any better. And popped it on, and I mean, I sent you a picture of it, didn't I? When I was trying it on, and it's the 40 mil sits. I can see why everyone says it could be a one and done watch. You literally can put this on your wrist and go, yeah, I'm done. It's beautifully made, finished, all these things that no one can deny. I can't deny it. 7,000 quid, I can deny, because again, as stated by Ian's, I could buy a car for that. But it is just there's something inevitable. If I had that kind of disposable income, that wasn't something that I'd worry about, I could see why you'd put money down on it. I could see why you'd do it. And talking to him, and we had a really nice conversation. He was chatting about how people come in with their old school Rolexes, stuff they bought 30 years ago, and they get them serviced and everything with them. And he sees these fantastic things that have seen a life and have done everything they're meant to do. And it's the thing, I think, the modern generation of owners of Rolex, where you see ones going all scared because they've got a scratch on it. And
you can't be precious about
they
these
were
things.
tools. They were very much the two people I know that own. I know one guy who was a merchant seaman. He bought a Rolex GMT Master. Ended up a captain. Bought a GMT Master 2 or whatever it was, way back when they weren't they weren't by today's standards that expensive. He still has it today. I've got this lovely book. We'll mention this lovely book. It's called The Book of Rolex by Jens Hoy and Christian Frost. And it's a nice book. I recommend if anyone wants history of Rolex. This is a fantastic thing. But there's a bit in the front of it which is utter twaddle, which kind of sells the story of Rolex. I mean, what do you think of this? Look after your Rolex and you can pass it on so your children can wear it. But when they look at it and think of you, perhaps that's what owning a Rolex is all about. Oh, do give it a rest.
I did like your use of the word twaddle when you texted me about that.
Well, I sent you a picture of it.
Isn't that Protect Philippe's tagline?
It's there.
You're only looking after it for the next generation. Yeah.
That's the thing.
But I do agree with you about the Explorer. The Explorer 2, the white polar dial, I've had that on a couple of times. I was tempted.
It's a lovely piece.
It does, and obviously the white polar dial. Probably the reason I looked at this and bought this. I just thought that did suit me very well. But there isn't. If I look at a Rolex now, if I go into a Rolex window and look at the watches, there isn't anything that really catches my eye or I yearn for. But apart from the Sea Dweller James Cameron with the gradient blue dial, I think that is a handsome looking piece. I've had a Sea Dweller one, and they do fit me very well because as we say, I think I've got really big wrists, so there's not a lot of watches.
I have a mate who rocks one. He's not into watches, and he rocks it. He's an accountant. He rocks it, and he loves it.
The gradient blue dial, and it's got Sea Dweller in like a lime green, I think.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that variation, but those are.
I'm sure the James Cameron has the great. I'm sure it's got Sea Dweller in lime green written across it, and that is a lovely looking piece. But then, according to like what you're saying about if people scratch it or things like that, you know, they lose their mind because it's just because of the prices of Rolex and the scarcity, the false scarcity. Because you purchase one, I mean, I did a write-up about it on Instagram a few years ago. If you go into, particularly when COVID was in, you go into that AD and you buy a Rolex Submariner, and I think they were about $6,500 at the time, but they were selling on the second-hand market for 14, 15.
Yes.
So if you buy that watch, you take it outside and you drop it in the car park, you haven't broken a $6,500 watch. You've broken a £14,000 watch. And do you think you can go back in and just get another one? No. Do you think they'll repair it? I'll repair it, but it's gone for 8 months.
Yes.
So
absolutely,
it astonishes me that people want to play these games for using their hard-earned money to buy these products. I don't know what's going through their mind to get this thing. What are they looking for when they purchase this watch? Like you were saying about a guy who owns your Navy chap. I've got an old mate, lovely old Roger, totally Welsh, totally posh, and he's got an original Air King that he bought in the 70s, and he wears it all the time, and it keeps fantastic time. It's got dreadful stretch in the bracelet because he's had it that long. Yeah. It's a lovely little piece. Very small. It is very, very small.
It's seen a life. It's probably been bashed against desks and ships and God knows what through his career in merchant seaman. And
well, that's the thing about Rolex.
That's what it's built for.
They are so robust. They really are designed to be bashed about. They're not delicate.
Yeah.
They are not a delicate piece. They are very, very, very well made.
Now, do you think Rolex has stopped being a tool watch?
No. I think the price of them and what people think of them has stopped them being a tool watch. The watch itself hasn't stopped being a tool watch.
It's still over.
It's still a robust piece, and it's still
the Explorer
made for that purpose.
That Explorer, the standard Explorer I tried on, you could completely say I could throw this on, go climb a mountain, I could throw this on, do whatever I was going to do. It wouldn't care. It would just be with me. It would be a watch to carry memories with me. But then again, so would this thing if I wore it and went up there. That's the bit of arseholes that I can never quite get round. You'll make memories with this thing, this expensive thing. I can make those same memories with something that cost me £20 if it came to it. If I strapped on a Casio and did the same thing, I've still imparted that same memory. I can still look back at that watch and go,
well, I agree with you when I did that.
That was me when I did
this. You can hand down a pair of boots. You can hand down a belt.
Yeah.
Anything. Medals. Medals, watches, torches, keys, anything.
Well, you say that. I mean, there we go. I'll give my favourite example about handing down things. My grandfather passed many years ago, and he got, on my keys, I've got 3 old English pennies.
Hey.
And I've got one, and I've got 3 of them. We got the camera. There we go. And one each of them, they've got holes drilled in them. He started it off. He found one that was 1918. So he drilled a hole in it and stuck it on his keys. When he passed away, and my mum says, "Do you want that?" I said, "Yeah." So
it's a lovely little thing.
Yeah. So I lost my grandmother, and then I lost my mum. And so I decided, well, I've got this. So I went on eBay and I found myself a 1925 heart penny and a 1946 penny. And I've added them to it, and I've got them with me now. They sit in my pocket.
Well, how lovely!
I've got the 3 of them with me. It's just a nice thing. But there's memories. But that's the point. There's memories.
And that's really nice.
And it's not an expensive thing to tie it up to. So I think conflating the investment in a Rolex and all of that shite with then handing on memories is blatantly false. It's yes, you would if you gave your child your Rolex or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But my son, when I put my clogs on my son and my other kids get the watch, divide up the watch collection between them, they'll still remember Ian and the watch he wore.
Yeah.
And because they'll have it on their, because my son will have one on his wrist. I mean, he's now got some, because I built a couple of mods a while ago. I didn't like. I gave them to him. He wears them all the time and loves it. Loves the fact he tells, yeah, my dad made it. If someone talks about his watch, he goes, oh yeah, my dad built it. You know, but he loves that. And
I think that's lovely.
you know, and so there's the memory.
And of course, the sad thing that it won't get stolen because it only means something to him.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily expensive.
No.
Like the certain watch brand that we're talking about.
Yeah. It's not. It's not this. Rolex has become luxury because of the money people want and the scarcity. And I suspect I mean, I've seen older school Rolexes. Another dear friend, if he's listening to, hello, Steve, I know has, because their group now know about this chat, so I'm hoping a few of them can listen. But hello, Steve, if you're listening, hope you're good. And he has a 4-line Submariner from, I guess, the 80s. And I remember he got it out and showed it me when I went to see him. And it's a lovely watch, but it's no different to a jingly jangly Seiko that you might buy of the same era. The bracelet is by no means the most peerless end of quality that you've ever seen. It all rattles. I've got a better clasp on this thing than I had on that, you know. And that's one of the things that kind of gets you when you look at Rolex from the 70s, 80s and 90s.
Yeah, but the only difference
when they were still tools.
Nobody's cutting your hand off for the Seiko.
No. The only difference is it says Rolex on the dial. It's probably of not that different hollow end links and all the things that people now pale in significance and stamped clasp. All of that. You had all of that on one of that era, as you did on every other watch, to be fair. But those were the build quality only came probably the 2000s, I think.
Yeah.
Probably the late 90s and early 2000s when the build quality really ramped up there. And I think then they started to get that quality finish that we now expect. I mean, when you fit again that watch, I felt it was beautifully finished. It really was, and the way the bracelet sat together was
I think
was
we can
exceptional.
both agree on that. We can both agree on the build quality of Rolexes are.
It is very, very good.
Top notch.
It's that thing that
they are top shelf. The way they're made, the way they're put together, the finishing, the way they work, they are top of the bill, and they really are.
And we know why.
That for a long time. We can understand buying one for that because they are the best.
Yeah, if you're buying something for the sake of buying a very, very well-made machine that's at the top of its class, and again, you've got the budget in your pocket to be able to go, I can spend $7,000 on a watch, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Then yes, it is. It's a beautiful machine that's utterly sort of like fit for purpose in every such way. But I don't think the people that buy Rolexes today do that.
No.
I don't think they do.
You go above Rolex, you won't get the build quality. You won't get the robustness.
No, nothing.
You get the build quality and the engineering and the artisan. Beautiful, the way they put together and machined and the engineering. But they wouldn't take a hit like a Rolex. A Rolex you could almost put nails in with.
Yeah, the only one
don't
would
do
take
that,
a hit,
by the way.
No, don't recommend it. The one company that does make a robust watch, that's in that horology madness, and as much as I hate to say it, I read an article about how they build all these things, was Richard Mille.
Oh, interesting.
You know the ones that are skeletons, they're hideous. They're all hideous.
Yeah.
But titanium, and it's engineered with all their ambassadors in mind. So I mean, for years, Rafa Nadal won, and it has to cope with him with 100-mile-an-hour serves and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And they were completely
play golf in them.
And people play golf, and again, there's the guy they were interviewing was a Tour de France cyclist. So again, he's not going to be gentle on it, and he wears it for the rides. And there was pictures of him, fully in use. So there are some there that still do, but the rest of your Patek, and all that kind of stuff, and all of the big brands and your Breguets, they're not meant for that kind of thing. Whereas I think if you want a tool watch, if you're going to buy the best tool watch you could buy, then a Rolex Submariner is by far the best dive watch you can buy if your criteria is a tool built to do a job.
Would you put the Rolex Submariner above the Omega Diver 300M?
No, for my own use, for my own.
Purely for toughness.
Purely for toughness, I might do.
Yeah.
I might do from engineering perspective.
I would, 100%. I would.
Because they are again.
The Submariner would definitely outlast the Seamaster if it was treated badly. If it was.
Yeah.
If you were doing North Sea oil rig work.
Yes. Well, those the classic Comex Submariners. They bought them for them. Again, they were 200. Yeah. They were about 200 quid a pop at the time. Again, long ago. Yeah. The oil rigs up by near the part of the world where you're from. Again, when all the guys that worked on the rigs had Comex Submariners, it was a tool for the job. It wasn't rare, famous, or valuable. It was a timing tool. I need to go and do so I know how long I'll be under for. Before computers started becoming more the thing, and they went for dive computers. It was a proper tool. Yeah, all of these things were once proper tools, and it's now gentrified itself to a point where it's still made for that, but the market, the people that lust after this thing isn't buying it for a tool anymore. They're buying it, as we talked about, they're buying it for status. It is, look at me, I've got a Rolex.
There was a lady that was interviewed by Jason Heaton, who does nature filming.
Oh, yeah.
Underwater in like the Bahamas, well, around the world. And she wears a 34mm Lady Datejust in precious metal. And she wears it diving.
Yeah, she wears it diving. It's 200 meters waterproof.
No, but she's worn it diving for 40 years. Oh,
yeah.
Like
again,
I don't know how long they've been made for, but she's had it since a young. She was a sprightly young lady, and she's always had it. And she's worn the same watch, and she's done deep sea diving, scuba diving with it. And they're waterproof to what, 150 meters?
Yeah, 200. I think even the Oyster. I mean, the classic Oyster case design was designed to be waterproof watch. That was a unique selling point for Rolex back in the day when they came out. The famous story of Mercedes Glitz having one hanging around her neck as she swam the channel. That was the famous story where the whole thing came from. There's stories of, again, from that lovely book, of how they'd have them. They'd wind the watch up at the start of the day in the jewellers. They'd drop one into a goldfish bowl and leave it sat in the front window for people to see. It was still ticking away.
I remember reading about that. Yeah.
And equally, they say, and some of them all would have an assistant, a lady assistant, sat in there with one on her wrist, and then she'd dip her arm in every so often, which is ridiculous when you think about it. To market the fact that this is waterproof, and it's surprising how versatile even the basic Datejust is still waterproof. It's still everything else. It's been on the wrists of kings and presidents and all of that kind of stuff. There's an interesting thing I found from reading that book. All of these terms that we use for bracelet styles, they were all invented by Rolex. The Oyster, the Jubilee, and the President style of bracelets. They are trademarks for Rolex.
The Rolex,
and this engineering thing is crazy when you look at the fact that they make everything. Everything in a Rolex is made in house. It's there's only the two big Japanese giants are the only other two that do it. Citizen and Seiko. Everything.
I love the little story of how because they purchased Eigler was always the movement maker for Rolex, and they purchased them years ago, didn't they? Yeah. But I love the because Hans Wilsdorf was quite clearly a brilliant man. He had a vision of what he wanted, and he wanted to make it
marketing power,
the best watches that money could buy, the best of everything. And he found that Eigler made the best movements, and he did a deal with him. Very, very clever, smart move. He did a deal with him. He said, "How many do you test at one time?" He said, "We test 100 all at once, and then we mark them we give them marks." He said, "Well, I would like to purchase the top 10 of every batch of 100. So the best 10 movements out of every 100, I will purchase them." I mean, how smart was that?
It's
Just to prove that he got
just,
the best movements out of the best movements. Because obviously back then everything was made, it wasn't made to precise tolerances what they do now. And when they were testing them, some were good, some were acceptable, but some were brilliant. He said, right,
yes.
well, I will buy the 10 out of the 100. I will buy the 10 best ones out of each batch of 100. I mean, clever, smart move.
Oh God, yes. I mean, it is, all of this stuff is just, you realise that the guy was a marketing genius of his day. I mean, he's again like Henry Ford and all those other sort of visionaries of their time. Wilsdorf was by no means stupid. He really knew what he was doing. By no means stupid. He was very clever, and things like Tudor, the way of offering a more accessible version of the main product.
Yeah.
That by no stretch a poor man's Rolex.
Yeah, and that was proven that he really loved the regal connection, didn't he?
Oh, and must have far.
Yeah. And the coronet, the little crown.
Yes. Yeah, the crown, the coronet. You were telling me about that. So it's a coronet and not a crown?
It's a coronet. It is a miniature crown that a princess would wear. Not a king, not a queen. Because he thought it was a bit more, I can't think of the word, like not dainty, a bit more just classic.
Elegant?
A bit more
so,
elegant, yes. You know, it's a princess. Plus it was smaller and taller, that it would fit on the dial more. And then that was when he started using the coronet in 1931. That's when they changed the font to what we know as the Rolex font today. And
really?
there's been 9 versions of the coronet over the years.
All right.
Some of the nicknames of them, they're good. And one that stuck out for me was the frog's foot.
Oh, the one with the curve at the bottom, yes.
Yeah. And they had, because it was only the latest iteration that had the little balls on the end of the coronet, as it was. As they called it, the 5. I mean, it could be the 5 fingers of a hand, and if it's just all, you don't know how much of it is rumour, you don't know how much of it is true, but it's because he was obviously a bit, he played his cards close to his chest.
The whole Rolex empire is incredible when you consider they have their own. I mean, they have their own foundries to make the 904L stainless steel that goes into the watches. They control the process from raw material at one end to product at the other. They're truly what the business people call a vertically integrated business. And it's astounding that in this day, most of your to kind of give, if you don't really realise this, just to kind of give you an idea, watchmaking has always been a piecemeal industry. One company will make cases, another make watches, another make dials and hands. They come together in a branded watch that you'd buy from I think it's still true today. But we'll come back. We'll talk about that another time. But so to have everything made in house, from the case to the movement, the bracelet, the boxes it comes in, the all of the other bits and pieces that go with it are all made by Rolex, and that's just it really is that kind of control that keeps. Yeah. I think that's what makes the quality, isn't it? If you can control,
it is. I mean, he always wanted to be top. He always wanted to be top-notch quality. The Egler movements. He found out who made the best movements in Switzerland. Egler. He went to them, and he got the 10 best out of each 100 batch. Yeah. Where did he get the best watch cases made? London. Craftsman made the best,
Denison.
And he made them. And he got the best watch cases made here. The Oyster case, the waterproof case, the seals. It was all made here because they were the best craftsmen. I mean, no, they didn't have bracelets back then. Everything was all leather. Yes. I don't think bracelets come in till 60s.
I guess 50s and 60s. 50s probably, because you'll see pictures of the first sub that had a bracelet. So I reckon that must have been the early era.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much mythology around all of this stuff. Yeah, there's so much mythology around all of this stuff. I think after the war, probably then bracelets became more a thing. During the war, you'd always see them on NATO straps or the similar, all that kind of style. They weren't even NATO then. They weren't even NATO then. They were single pass stop of air that would just stop it falling off your wrist. Was really all they were. And so and those period ago. It's a lot of this stuff is fascinating rabbit holes in which to fall.
Rolex didn't make a Dirty Dozen watch, did they?
No, they didn't. They never did make a Dirty Dozen watch.
No, they didn't.
They didn't make it.
The Calatrava, not the Calatrava. The
Patek did, yeah.
What's the posh Rolex?
Audemars Piguet. They made one.
What's the dress watch that Rolex make?
The
Cellini, yeah.
As worn by Barack Obama.
Kind of, yeah, true, yeah. And he wears the cricket watch as well, the Vulcan cricket.
Yeah, as worn
which
by
is
Barack
tradition that every president gets a Vulcan cricket from the Secret Service. Because it's a little tradition that went back to, goodness, not Eisenhower. It was after Eisenhower.
Ford?
No. I can't remember which one
Roosevelt?
it was.
Roosevelt?
Yes.
Truman? Roosevelt? William?
Oh, Truman. Yes, it was Truman.
Truman.
He was about to go on the stage and give a speech, and his watch came off his wrist. It broken. And he said, well, I can't go out here without a watch on my wrist. Can I borrow one of yours? And one of the Secret Service gave him a Vulcan cricket. And he wore it while on stage. And it was such a good speech, and it all went well. And from that day on, it was tradition that the Secret Service gave the standing president a Vulcan cricket.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That's one of those random stories I did not know.
Yeah.
But I know about the Vulcan cricket. That's been recently remade. I saw they were.
Yes.
Which is one with a little. People don't know the Vulcan cricket has a little. It's always mechanical alarms in the cricket.
Yeah, it's got a funny little T button at the top of it. Funny one thing. You pull it out. I've never actually seen one, but I've read a couple of write-ups about it where I got that story from.
Yeah, I've seen watches of a similar design. The Memocall was the one I've seen a few of that are a similar kind of design where you wind them up. You wind up both the clanger and you wind up the ordinary watch, and then the clanger hits against the thing and get a buzzing noise.
But then again,
early days of alarms on watches.
Going back to nicknames of things, the president bracelet.
Yes, president bracelet.
Which is technically a nickname.
Yeah, but no, it's an actual.
It's not. I don't know whether Rolex adopted it.
They've copyrighted the presidential bracelet.
But that was all about. Was it Nixon?
Yeah,
he was gifted one
before.
And
before that.
Was it? And he said, "No, I can't accept that. It's too expensive for a president to have."
Yes, it could be, Nick. The president, the oyster. Again, we're going back to the Datejust.
No,
the standard as a presidential bracelet. Who was it? It's in here.
I think I'm getting mixed up. I think Nixon was gifted a gold Speedmaster because the success of the moon landings, and he refused it. And he said a president should not accept gifts of such cost. The presidential bracelet is.
Dwight Eisenhower wore one.
Yeah.
And that's where the name comes from. And you had seen it in here for the Datejust, yes. Introduced in 45 was the Datejust.
Yeah.
Along with the Jubilee bracelet.
So is it the date that has the presidential bracelet?
No, the Datejust. The Datejust.
It's the Datejust,
is it? Yeah. I mean that's the thing you can get. You can go from a completely simple three-handed watch with a date with a blue dial through to something slathered in jewels and made of precious metals. You can go from one end of the extremes to the other in terms of what you have, depending on how much taste you don't have. Yeah. Because I think a lot of that stuff on the other end with all the precious metals and the gold and stuff, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And the classier world, in my eyes, is always the less is more sort of thing. It's then again, I mean, I'm not the market for anything blinged out.
But interestingly, about the presidential bracelet, I noticed when I watched Biden get inaugurated, and he always wore Omega Seamaster.
Yeah.
That's what he's got is his own personal watch. But on the day he got sworn in as president, he had a Datejust presidential on in white gold.
Yeah, I wonder if he wasn't gifted it.
Probably.
I wonder if he wasn't gifted
if they handed it to him and said, "Oh, just wear this while you swear on the Bible," and then took it off when you come off the stage.
Yeah, my company gives Datejusts. At the end of the year, we do a big sales conference, and we have they go. And if you've scored the biggest deal in your region, the whole team end up. Well, not quite the whole team, but the senior technical seller and the senior seller both get Rolexes. They get DJ. They get Datejust. I saw one of the guys up.
Wow.
And then if you've done particularly well, there's Rolexes. There's a whole bunch of them to be won. They get them in. There's a table up the front that you see, and the big. I mean, I've got a company of 4,000, so it's a thing to do to win it. And they have these Rolexes laid out at the front. You know, it's silliness, but they get them again. I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, it's cachet that team gives away. I mean, these things.
This is going back to what we're saying about Rolex becoming. I mean, why a Rolex?
It's a status symbol.
It's a status symbol. So that's given to the best person, the best salesman. So that is seen as like a trophy, isn't it?
That's completely
well done. You're the best of this. That is
it's
like an ultimate prize, isn't it?
Yes.
That's how big Rolex is. That's how Rolex is kind of respected by so many people, and people hanker after it, don't they?
Yes.
They just need it. They've got to have it.
That sells the whole thing that sells the want and the desire and everything else now is the status. It isn't, I want the best tool for the job, so I'm going to buy a Rolex. Not for 90% of the public that buy a Rolex. They're buying it because that's perceived as I've got the pinnacle of success. I'm wearing
look at me.
I'm wearing look at me. Here's my Rolex.
Look at me.
Yeah. But it comes back to what you said last week, that you said before. You buy a Rolex to show off to your mate. You buy a Rolex to show off to your mates, and you buy the Omega for you.
You buy it. I always say that to people. What do you think I should get?
And you're right.
First of all, I always say G-Shock.
Yeah.
They say, what's the best watch money can buy? I say G-Shock. What? Yeah, cheap, accurate, indestructible. Best watch money can buy. Oh no, I don't mean that. But have I told the story? A friend of mine, his son, turned 18, and he wanted a watch. He had a chat with his dad. I'd like to get a watch, Dad. So naturally, he came to me. Like, we want to get my boy a watch for his 18th. I said, okay, do you want quartz? Do you want mechanical? And we did a few to and fro's, backwards and forwards. And I said, I know, Christopher Ward, British made, my watchmaker says that Christopher Ward are almost on a par with today's subject. They are that well made. He takes the bits. He said they're an absolute dream to work on. They're a beautiful piece. The tolerances are good. The bracelets are excellent. So I said, that's the one for you, Christopher Ward. He said, right, thanks very much. I'll look into it. 3 days later, he phones me up. I've never heard anybody so angry in my entire life. What the hell's the matter with him? You knew that. You arsehole, you Geordie get bastard. Do you know what it was? Him and his son are massive. Yeah, him and his son are massive Liverpool fans. Christopher Ward sponsor Everton.
Yes, the marketing for that is amazing.
I genuinely didn't know.
Someone was telling me that now practically every time they talk about football when the football's on the telly and they're talking about Everton, the Christopher Ward shop gets mentioned. Yeah. It's marketing made in heaven for them. They are. I mean, but then again, Mike France has been a massive Everton fan his entire life, and so full circle, he can now indulge his dreams a little bit. But that's what it all comes back to, isn't it? Really, he's been an Everton fan all his life. He can indulge his dreams. So it's kind of where that goes in a way. It's now modern day version of that.
I'm just trying to think what he actually got in the end, because I did ask him when he'd calmed down a bit. He was all right. He's only 4 foot now, anyway. I think he went with a Hamilton.
Oh, that's a fantastic
Because
choice.
his son liked the not skeleton, because you've got skeleton, you've got tourbillon, but you can do
Yeah.
open heart,
Yes,
uh,
you can. You can see the
where
little thing whizzing around.
you can just see the little balance wheel. And I
Yeah.
think he went for that, which is like a jazz master or not an American classic,
Oh,
I think
yes,
it's
yes.
called.
Those are.
And they
That's
do
what
an
your
open
style was.
heart with a lovely blue dial, and I think that's
Mm,
what he went for at the end.
yeah.
And I looked him straight in the eye and I went, "You have chosen wisely."
It's so interesting, the whole sort of like choosing. And I suppose that leads us into the question of kind of, we talked about this, for a lot of people, Rolex is the grail, isn't it? Before we started this, we were talking about this. Rolex being the pinnacle of what, you know, I definitely know that I wouldn't, if money was no object, would Rolex, would a Submariner be my grail? Would a GMT
But
Master 2 be my grail? If I had money was
a
no
lot of
object,
people
I'd have
talk
a,
about Rolex because let's not forget that Rolex is almost on a par of Coca Cola and McDonald's.
yeah,
Not
completely.
not
Most
quite that much. But you think if anybody says nice watch Rolex, that's what they say straight away.
when I wore that cheap Addy's dive thing I got from China that was
Yeah.
a looky likey of a Hulk, I had no end of compliments for the damn thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that is the only thing about my dodgy bloody copy that my brother
yes,
hilariously sent me. He sent me from New Zealand because he thought it was absolutely hilarious to give me a fake Rolex. And it's not a bad little thing. But when I
yeah,
wear that, I wear it for work because I don't care about it. It was
yeah,
$50. And if I do go to the pub in it, like I'm meeting friends, I've got time to change, somebody will mention it every time. Nobody mentions any other watch I ever wear. But I
no,
have that on, and it's just like, nice Rolex, dude.
yes,
It's like
no,
sketchy.
exactly. But it gets back to that thing of it's status. It's a status item. It's no
Yeah.
longer a watch and the status of the
And they're
fact that I have to
commodities.
have 10 grand in my pocket and have waited
Yeah.
and have gone through whatever hoops I need to jump through for the local AD with the artificial scarcity. The artificial scarcity thing makes me think. I don't understand it.
I don't get it.
It's because if you're controlling the entire manufacturing process, you can make enough to meet the demands of what you're doing because you can escalate production. You can do what you need to do.
Well, here's a thought. You're Rolex.
This isn't difficult.
Build another factory.
Yeah, exactly. You can afford it.
It's not like you haven't got the money.
No, exactly. It's not like you can't afford to build this thing. The materials are not. You have the materials. You have the design know-how. All you need to do is make more. So the artificial scarcity thing is just so.
It's just part of the marketing.
It's part of the marketing. And that artificial scarcity drives the luxury. Oh, you've got to buy.
People will always want what they can't buy.
You've got to buy rubbish from it. You've got to buy you buy the Datejust with the weird dials. You've got to buy all the other things. I mean, there's pistachio dial and all these other things people wet themselves over. You've got to buy all these things to get on the shopping list to buy a Submariner. No, just no.
Yeah, exactly. It's correct.
I would not. So I'm going to put aside my usual biases. If I was going to go in there and plonk my money down, I would expect the fact that I'm coming in with 10 grand in my pocket and I would like to buy a Submariner, I should be able to do so. I don't think I should need to spend or build a relationship with you in order to spend my money here. No. If I do, I'm going to go somewhere, take my 10 grand somewhere else. I'll go and see the guy in the Tudor shop next door where I can buy everything I'd like. I can get two. You know, or I'll go and buy an Omega. I'll go and buy the latest Omega. I'll go and buy the latest Omega. I can walk out of the shop with that. Apart from the status symbol, I can buy as equally good designed, built, engineered watch from Tudor, from Omega. If we're sticking with the big boys, or if I go really left field and go and buy a Grand Seiko, you know, I can buy some beautifully engineered thing. And not
Grand Seiko, they're beautiful. They're very well made, Grand Seiko.
And again, that's nowhere near the crazy money.
Finishing on them is just just exceptional. It's second to none.
Yeah.
I mean, they do this thing called shiratsu polishing.
Yes.
Where
I was thinking of this.
a Japanese guy goes outside, snaps a twig off the tree, and then comes back and rubs it on the watch for 4 days.
Yes.
I mean, how's that?
It's
How's
insane.
that for engineering excellence?
Well, it's like the guys who trained at Rolex for the polishing of the cases there. That's equally a journeyman's job that you train. It takes, someone told me how many they train up each year. There's crazy numbers of people that, there's something like 50 people go, only 5 get selected. That 5 go on the apprenticeship, which takes a number of years for you to learn the polishing. TGV went and did an interesting video, and more in the similar thing. He went to Breguet and to the factory and saw the guys that do all of the hand finishing.
Doesn't he?
He does. There's one where he does a factory tour, and that's eye-opening. The sheer craftsmanship that goes into building those watches. I mean, they're not my cup of tea at all, but the engineering, the craftsmanship of the guy engraving the dials and building the gear shape striping in it, how it's done, that's the skills on another level. And again, the same with the guys that work at Rolex and build these beautiful watches. That hand finishing, it is still effectively a hand-built watch, apparently. Once everything's manufactured, all the parts are delivered to the factory, there are still teams of watchmakers assembling and building that watch from its raw components. They've been built by machines, but the final assembly, the setup and everything is still humans still humans.
With the Breguet, there is one Breguet watch that I do like, only purely for just personally how much of a pain in the ass it is to make. It's a very, very simple watch. It's a plain white porcelain dial, and it has a sub-dial with seconds in it that's actually indented into the porcelain, where the little second hand runs around. It's just slightly off center to like the 4:30 area. But the yield on those porcelain dials is 92% failure. So that Cook 100, they only get 8 or 9 that are perfect. And then somebody with a little brush paints the numbers on.
Oh,
so
that's again,
he's got to
paint
them on and paint them on. And you think if he goes, Colin, it's time for lunch, and gives him a nudge, that's the end of that. There's another dial that's bugger. I just love somebody's got the patience to actually go through that with such a high failure rate. And it's such a
I just found that.
And it's got if you look at the 3 o'clock, is it like the 71 something classic?
Yes, classic 71. Yeah, just look a picture of it up.
If you look at where the 3 o'clock is, it's got very, very fine lasered Breguet. It's almost like a watermark.
Oh yes, just on the porcelain. Yes,
lasered into the porcelain. It's got Breguet at the top, but it's got a watermark lasered into the 3 o'clock mark, and I think that is just beautiful craftsman artisanal engineering.
Yes,
if I owned one, I would destroy that in 2 minutes. I just can't be trusted because I'm a big ham-fisted Geordie. But it's just a beautiful looking piece. And I have seen one. I looked at one in Venice. There's a guy, the lovely watch shop in Venice, and he showed me it. And it was just, I was frightened. Yeah, but I was frightened to hold it. I'm looking at it, and he let me have his loop, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to concentrate and soak it in, and I'm actually holding it. My brain's just going, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it.
Absolutely. Oh, is it? I mean, some of the stuff Breguet makes is beautiful beyond belief.
Yeah, it is.
It's nothing I'm ever going to wear, but God's alive, they are.
Well, let's not forget the Breguet invented just about everything to do with watchmaking.
Yes. And the craftsmanship there is still remained traditional. Pretty much all of the manufacturing techniques are still. Yeah, there's people there filing and shaping and doing. Yeah. If you haven't watched it, go watch that video. I mean, I know he's got him in it, but the actual sort of stuff going in to go through the factory is fascinating. The engineering. I mean, the Crown still does a lot of this stuff themselves. They all go through all this sort of level of I think for the posh stuff, you are getting some level of hand finishing. So in conclusion, do we like Rolex or not? I mean, that's the question is, do we, as we get towards the end of the hour, do we actually, I mean,
Yes.
we talked about it. Do we like it?
I do like, because I like watches. And I like, I mean, you look in the window of the Rolex exhibition, or as I got scowled at one, where was I at? I think I was in Glasgow. And we were looking at watches, and there was the Rolex bit over there, and I just happened to say to my mate, "Oh, that's the Rolex museum," because everything's just exhibition. And I got glared at by the old fellow in there with the big moustache.
Yeah,
he gave me like Paddington Bear. He gave me a very hard stare.
Yes, give you Paddington Bear stare for looking at that. Yeah, no, I have to say that.
But as watches, I do like them. I like them. But when you look at the window and you think, there's nothing that goes, wow, I really like that. Because let's not forget, they're one of the most copied watches ever. So there's so many watches out there that you can buy that looks exactly like.
Yes, because
let's not go fakes. Let's go homages. Like the one we just discussed earlier before we came on, the Ball original, the Ball Hydrocrest original.
Yeah.
Almost like a blueprint. Almost like you've took a stamp off a Submariner and stamped that, and then you put it said it's got a big tit on the corner.
Yeah. I mean, the latest iteration of the Hydro Conquest from Longines. Again, they've taken that same silhouette. They've done a bit of their own thing with the dial and everything, which quite honestly looks like one of those kids' shape sorting toys with all the different shapes for the indices. But it's very much, there's a blueprint to building a diving watch, and take a hat off to Rolex. They created that blueprint that everyone else is following. And I think that ubiquity, for me, takes it away a little bit. Well, I've seen that before. Come on, I've seen that a million times. I like my Orises. I like my Omegas because they're a little bit different. Their shapes are different. I think the world's a good place for Rolex being there, and we wouldn't have half of the technology, the innovation that we've had without them.
I think as well, Ian, we've been at the watches. We are gentlemen of a certain age now.
We are.
And we've gone to a part where we've been in this hobby for so long now, we found our little niche.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I'm the Oris guy. I love Oris. Just give me one single iteration of every single Oris watch that I've made, and I'll be quite happy. But I'm constantly looking for that titanium one. Don't know? I want the titanium Aquas. Just that's the next one I'm striving for, and that's what. And it's no different than what I've got. I've got like 4 Oris already, and I want to get another one because I really want the titanium Oris. I like Oris. I like the way they wear. It's all to do with like you buy a shirt. As a guy who doesn't shop, I buy my shirts from exactly the same shop, and I go in there like, which colour have I not got? There we go. Let me have that. On the very rare occasion I need a new shirt, and I just go to Crew shirts. They just fit my frame perfect. I get the same cut. I get the same way of making it. I try it on. I don't even try it on because I know it's going to fit me because I wear them all the time. Give me one of those. That's it. And they just fit my frame. Oris just fit my wrist perfectly. Beautiful. And I've found my little niche. Not to say that I wouldn't go off the beaten track and get something else. You never know.
I know.
I was saying about Grail earlier. You mentioned Grail because a lot of people do. If you
some of their Grails, aren't they? Yeah.
The Daytona always comes up with people's Grail.
Yes.
Because you're saying that Submariner's not unuptail, but the Daytona, you haven't got a chance of getting a Daytona in a million years.
You'll never use one. You never get a new one.
You would have to go to the. You would have to go and see the AD, take him out to the cinema, and do the popcorn trick or some kind of favour to him to get him. You'd have to go around with party balloons and gazoos. You'd have to be singing songs at him outside his house.
To even entertain. Is the Paul Newman Daytona?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
there's
of
the
course.
whole point. I mean, that's again the heyday when they were again another tool watch. It was a racing timer,
Now,
fantastic, beautiful watch. At all?
is that still the most expensive watch sold at
I
auction?
think so. Yes,
$17.5 million, wasn't it?
yes. Some crazy amount of
Wow.
money for
What happened
that
with
particular.
what happened with John Lennon's Patek? Is that
I
I
don't
know
know.
that was in
I don't know. I must admit, I do not know.
that was in Cornwall. There was a legal battle against it because it was John Lennon gifted it to his driver, apparently. But
Yeah,
then his driver put it up for auction because it's been so long since, and of course the lovely Yoko Ono said, no, that's mine. But no, John gifted it to me. And of course she's opened up a massive legal battle. And I don't know the what's happened with that.
no.
Because they reckon that was going to break the record.
Yeah, because it was the Paul Newman one, and there's old stories around that. There's a whole thing around that Paul Newman Daytona. But that again I think the Daytona was better then in that kind of format than the gaudy monstrosity I see now.
Yeah, I don't like the Daytona.
No, I mean I love a chronograph, but it's not for me. I mean, I'm kind of at the point now where I wonder about buying a mechanical chrono, and I keep kind of talking myself out of it. It's one of those.
I do like my Speedmaster. I like the Moonwatch. I do. Another one, only because it fits so well. It's 42 millimeter. It's a good size. I like that it's no date.
I understand.
And it's just you wind it and it's done, and it's just a beautiful piece.
Yeah, I get all of that, but in the end, my plastic ones do the same job. So,
I mean, I was astonished, absolutely astonished at how small the Daytona actually was. When I saw it in the window in Goldsmiths a few years ago. What's that? I said, is that the kids' version?
Let's round this up because we're coming up to the hour. So, cool things. I've got a cool thing story briefly, which is yesterday I ran a 10K race. I ran for the local charities, got a wildlife sanctuary there, raising money to get another enclosure to take some small bears in, which is wonderful. And there was 800 or so of us ran 10K through closed roads around the thing. I did my first 10K race. I finished in 1 hour and 5 minutes. I couldn't be pleased. I had such a good time. It was hard work. Bloody hell, it was hard work. But I had such a good time. That's my cool thing for the week is I had the most amazing time running a long way. So what's your cool thing for the week then, sir?
I was a bit unprepared. I haven't got one. But I do have an excellent story about a charity.
Oh, you do, don't you?
There was a big, huge chap used to drink in my pub. Ex-army guy. I mean, we're talking, he's a big lad. 6'4", got to be 22, 23 stone. Big drinker, proper army dude. I don't know whether he was high up or quite officer material, but he was such a well-spoken, lovely fella. Then I'm going around the fields where I live, and there he is, shorts on, doing a little run. I said, what the hell are you doing? He said, I'm going to do the triathlon, what do they call it, where the swim, cycle, and run?
Triathlon. Yeah, triathlon.
Triathlon. I'm going to do the triathlon. And I'm like, really? Yeah, I'm going to go for it. And he did it, and it was all, so then I seen him about a couple of weeks after he finished. Did he do it? Yeah. So what was it like? What was the time? He said, let me tell you this. They were taking the scaffolding down at the finish line by the time I got across it.
But he did it. That's the main thing. He got there and he did it.
He did it.
But he did it. That's the thing. But he did it.
Oh, the scaffolders were taking the start line down when I went over. Oh, dear.
So, dear Graham, I believe you have a story for us. To round us out for the fight, to round us out for the evening.
I've got to say that this is... I'll just go for it.
In you go.
Because it took me a bit of effort to put this together. But this is what I found out this week. I've done a lot of reading and a lot of research on where did the Rolex name come from. So, Rolex name. If you're sitting comfortably, children, then I'll begin. So, Hans Wilsdorf's company did not start as Rolex. It was initially established as Waldorf and Davis, and he partnered with his brother-in-law, Alfred James Davis, to start a watch company in London, England. And his thoughts were that the name was not easily to remember because they did that for companies years ago. They just called it by your name or your company name or your partner's name, and then they just went with that. But he wanted something a bit stronger and a bit snappy. But then, after a chance meeting with a gentleman by the name of George Eastman, who is George Eastman, you ask? Well, he is the inventor of Kodak. So Wilsdorf was asking him about it, and he said he loved the simplicity of the name Kodak and asked advice in choosing such a short, powerful name. Mr. Eastman replied that he really loved the letter K and how it looked and how it sounded. Mr. Eastman told Mr. Wilsdorf, please copy what I did. Make a word with 2 syllables, 5 letters, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant. The name should be short and simple to say and cannot be mispronounced. He said, make the word cut sharp at the end. After writing letters on a newspaper, traveling aboard a horse-drawn open-top bus going to work one day, Mr. Wilsdorf said, a genie whispered in his ear, Rolex. And the name was trademarked in 1908, 3 years after he actually started. But while trying to find out the Rolex meaning of the name, some speculate that the name Rolex was inspired by the French phrase horology exquisite, which roughly translates as exquisite watchmaking in English. Others hypothesize that the name was chosen because it was reminiscent of the sound that a watch makes when you wind it. Here ended the story.
Thank you, Graham. No, that's
nice?
Cool. That is
good?
nice. Yes. I mean, the history. I mean, I always love to figure out where brand names come from. And the Eastman thing is fascinating because Kodak. And that, again.
Now, this is what I was trying to say to you earlier.
Yeah. I mean, that's
couldn't
fascinating.
find it again.
Love
and
that.
I remember reading it years ago, and I've done research, and there is stories about him being in the same place and talking to George Eastman.
Yeah.
But I can't find the thing where he gave him the advice. But I mean, there's no way you can make that up.
No. Yeah, that stuff sounds like something. And again, if you think about Kodak, Rolex,
yeah,
there's got to be some kind of, again, the thinking behind how those naming works is nice, snappy. You remember it. Fantastic. Love it. So with that, we're coming to the end of our hour once more. We've had a good time talking about Rolex today. Hope you enjoyed what we're talking about. Please like, comment and subscribe. And it's good night from me, Ian Grant, and it's good night from...
And it's good night from him.
Exactly. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to our drivel. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much, everybody, and good night.
Bye-bye.